work on the Leetcode problem converting a string to integer. So this is similar to what is already available in C, C++, and we are trying to replicate it. So there are a few conditions that we need to look at for this string. First is there could be leading white space. We should ignore it and not use them for any of the calculation. Then it is followed by either a negative sign or positive sign. So whatever it is, we need to save that result, and the final result will also be negative or positive. And if the value is not specified, we assume the result is positive. And it is permissible to have non-digit characters at the end of the string, at the end of the digit, sorry. But any alphabetical character before it is an error, and we should return 0 if that happens. Also, we are specifying a certain range for the numbers to be in. So I think I have this. So this is an actual max integer range that we can use. So anything which exceeds that, we default it to say the integer or min or max value. So they have given us a few examples to look at. And so you can see even if it is followed with alphabets, we ignore it and only return the numbers. So let's first start by looking at the edge case conditions where if so in this case we return 0. Next we'll look at I think let's convert it first to a character array. And then we'll use the index to traverse the array. So like we said, first thing we need to do is if there are any leading white space characters. So we're just searching for empty white space. So we just ignore it, and so we just increment the counter. Now if we have reached the end of the string, so there's nothing for us to process, we can return 0. Else, if we encounter a positive or negative sign, let me just create a few variables here. So if it's a positive or negative, we just set the value in the boolean is negative. I think we should increment it now that we have processed it. This is an edge case where there's an alphabet before even the number starts. So only thing that can precede the number is white space followed by signs. Anything else is negative. It's a incorrect input, and so we set it to 0. So now let's try traversing the numbers while I less than. So we keep incrementing the counter, and also let's add another condition. So first let's calculate the digit. So I hope this makes sense. Essentially what we're doing is we're subtracting it with the lowest digit 0. So anything, so doing this essentially converts a character into a number. So we can get a number from 0 to 9 using this method. So then we try numbers equal to num. So this is a solution, and you can try testing it, make sure everything is correct. So this will work. Is negative. So this works for the test cases which where the number doesn't exceed the integer or min or max value. So anything which is above the maximum value, you can see, right, it's going negative because that's the largest value that an integer can store. So to handle those edge cases, let's create a new method. So here's the actual max, min and max value. So anytime the value exceeds this, uh, we should return just we should default by just saying integer dot min or integer dot max depending on whether it's positive or negative number. And the way we check it is since we cannot check integer dot value is greater than max because anything it's above the size of what the integer can store, it overflows. Like for example, it became -2 1. So this is an example of what happens if the if it overflows the integer, it won't save the correct value. So to handle those use cases, what we can do is we can divide by 10 and make sure that, so before this operation happens where you're multiplying it by 10 and adding the digit, we need to make sure that whatever value we have currently saved doesn't exceed is not greater than the max value divided by 10. So let me code it to show. So if number, so because the next operation we are going to check the capacity in this line. So if it's greater than that, it's already exceeding capacity, so we return true. Another case is equal to the integer max value by 10. In that case, we make sure that the last digit that we are going to add, it is something less than 7. So anything greater than 7, it's already reached the max capacity. So we just say and digit greater than 7. So yeah, essentially what this does is we make sure that we haven't exceeded the capacity. Let's try again. Oh. Alright, so something is wrong with the way we are checking the number and the digit. Maybe just need to add this brackets around it. Let's see. Okay, so we are defaulting to integer or min or max value, so there's something wrong with the way we are calculating the condition. So let's go through it again. So we get int digit equal to this. Oh, this is a weird condition. Should be divided by 10. So essentially, yeah, I don't know why I added that. So what we are checking if it is less than the, 6, so it's something like 21474864. So somewhere here, if it is 65, we already know that the next digit, whatever it is going to exceed the max capacity. So it should be like divided by 10. Let's submit it. Alright, so yeah, leave some comments to see if there's an easier way to do it. Yeah, I think there are a couple of ways, other ways also we could have done. We could have saved, instead of making it an integer, we could have made this a long. And so we could check if the value is greater than integer max capacity. So long can store has a higher capacity. We would have checked, that's another way we can do it. Some people have also solved it using big integer. So yeah, leave comments to see if there's an easier way to solve this problem. And yeah, thank you for joining.